Hey guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Today we're going to talk about don't let what ifs hold you back. And the reason why I want to talk about this was because one of my subscribers brought this up, and I had thought about doing something on this a long time ago, but I had forgotten all about it, and it never made it on my board for one reason or another. But I want to talk about this because a lot of people write to me, well, what if this happens? Or what if that happens, Steve? What do I do then? You know, and a lot of people, you can get by the what ifs through planning. Okay, the what ifs are, you know, and a lot of people get into like these really far out what ifs. You know, like, well, what if I get hurt there or something? You know, like, or somebody does this to me or somebody does that. You know, it's something that's not likely to happen, and if it does, you gotta, you know, kind of have the money and have money set aside to take you through that stuff. Don't come over here without any money or without any emergency fund or startup funds, guys. First of all, that's the big thing. If you can, and make sure your pensions are enough to help you survive here and stuff like that. The what ifs, you know, you do have to plan for those. That's why I had a whiteboard and wrote everything down. And I don't want to get too much into all the stuff that I tell people because all that's already documented in my videos, and you guys can all watch that. What I do want to say is don't let those psychological what ifs get in your way. Okay? Don't let them get in your way. They shouldn't be getting in your way. Okay? You're retiring. You want to retire where you want to retire and wherever you want to retire, and you want to live a good life. So plan. If you plan, you'll be fine. And I know some of you guys are on lower budgets and stuff like that. I get it. There's other places to go. It's not just the Philippines, guys. Everybody thinks, well, I want to come over, I want to meet a nice, decent person and stuff like that. You know, there's other places out there too that you can still meet nice women. You know, there just is. I mean, if you're looking for a mate or something like that, the Philippines is great. And I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's not. There's plenty of other places too, and it's just as cheap. Vietnam, there's Mexico, there's Guatemala, there's Belize. All those places are great. Some of them are a little bit more expensive, but some of them are closer to the United States. Now, Belize is a bit more expensive, but it's closer to the United States. So if you guys have an emergency or something like that, and also this goes for Mexico and Guatemala, you can just jump on a plane and go back to the States, and you're only a couple hours away. So you know, if you need Medicare or something like that, or if you need something, you can just head right into a hospital, you know, in Texas or something like that. You're only like a couple hours away, and it's really, really quick. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump. In some cases, it's just a drive over the line, you know. So, I mean, that's just the way it is, guys. You know, like if you guys are worried or you got health care issues and stuff like that, Philippines might not be for you. You know, unless you have extra cash to pay for great medical care over here or something like that, or you have some great emergency fund for over here, so if you get sick or something like that and you go to a Philippine hospital, you're all set. But once you use that, you also, like we've talked about this before, is you want to make sure you have enough money in your budget to restart up that emergency fund again that you just used. You know, so that's why I tell people the higher budgets are better. And I know some people don't have those higher budgets, but don't set yourself up for a disaster, guys. Don't. You know, like, don't let the what ifs get in your way, but plan. I mean, I worked my butt off working, you know, 2 jobs to make sure that I made it here. And I planned, I put money aside, I cut back on all my money, my spending, you know, I cut back on everything. I just stopped spending like crazy and started putting it away and paying off my debt. Everything was done when I left. I didn't leave room for what ifs. There was no what if in my life. You know, I wasn't worried about what ifs. What if this happens or what if that happens? I made sure I planned for that stuff so that I had the cash and the wherewithal to get up and go if I had to go. If I had to go back to the States, if I got sick, if anything happened, I was ready for it. Even the SRRV was part of that because I didn't want to be on a tourist visa and then be told later on something changed or something like that. And that's where a lot of people get, you know, make mistakes. Do the right decision, not the wrong decision. And I know a lot of people never thought that the tourist visas were going to, you know, have the problems that they have now. And that's a huge problem for these guys that are over here now because a lot of them have to leave when they butt that 36 months unless they pay fines. And in some cases, you know, if they want to do that, that's up to them. And I know, you know, if you pay these fines up, usually you're not blacklisted, but you do take a risk that you could be. You know, who knows? I don't know where the cutoff is there where they say, you know what, You've been here for 3 years. We're gonna, we still want the fines, but we're booting you out and we're blacklisting you. I don't know. I don't know if there is one, and I don't want to be the one who guesses on something like that. But I will say this, guys. What if is not something that you want to sit there and say, well, I don't want to go there because what if this happens? Or what if that happens? Don't let that hold you back from your dreams, guys. Maybe you need to work an extra year or 2 years or 3 years. I don't know where you are in your life right now. I don't know if you're 50 years old and you're trying to retire at 55, because that gives you more options, because then maybe you can work a security job weekends and make some extra money and have some extra spending money when you get over here too, because you're going to want that. A lot of you guys that are talking about coming over here I realize you don't have the income to make it up to the sweet spot budget, and that's up to you. That's your call. I'm not going to tell you to come over here or not come over here, but be safe, guys. Some of you guys have options. You're still healthy. You can still work a little bit more, maybe work another 2 years, doing security work or something. Security work's the easiest job in the world. Some of these jobs, you just sit in your car. You just, that's what I was doing. I was talking to my girlfriend all the time, and I do my rounds and stuff like that, and I'd have my Bluetooth in my ear, so I could be walking around still doing my job, and it was great. I used to love my job because it was kind of relaxing. I got out and walked around on weekends. My friends would sometimes see me there and stop by and visit me and bring me lunch or something like that. I worked in a parking lot, overseeing a giant parking lot and just making sure I moved cars. That was parking in front of stores or what have you. It was a decent job. And, these security jobs, some of them, they'll give you 12-hour shifts and stuff like that if you want them. They'd be grateful if you work those shifts, So for you guys out there that can work these extra jobs, work them. Do them. Make sure there is no what if, because you guys have options. There's options for those what ifs. You can fix those what ifs. The older guys, it's a little bit more difficult to fix the what ifs, because, as you get older and if you're in your late 60s or 70s, maybe you can't work another year or two. Maybe, you don't think you're going to, you might not be able to make it over here then, and it's a risk because, insurance over here is getting higher as you get older over here. And that's one of the sad parts over here about the Philippines is that insurance can get expensive as you get up to that 75 mark. And we've talked about that before. But for the younger guys, insurance is really cheap here. Through Pacific Cross, it's super cheap, especially if you go on the peso plan. So just a FYI. So that cuts out a lot of what ifs. Like, what if I get sick, or what if this? You get insurance. It's for people that are like my age, 58, it's less than $1,000 for inpatient. And outpatient's so reasonable, it's incredibly cheap, The only problems you might have is prescriptions and things like that, guys, and make sure you come over here and you're ready for this life over here. Because in the United States, you have a lot more medical options there than you do here. Especially for you guys that are on Medicare and Medicaid, okay? A lot of people think, well, geez, I'll just fly to Guam. Well, if you have in the middle of a heart attack, you're not going to be flying to Guam. Maybe when you get stabilized or something like that, yeah, you can get up and go to Guam or something like that. But people that come here, and maybe the hospitals over there aren't that good. I don't know what they're like in Guam, And there's a lot of research that goes into this to get past those what ifs. Okay, research is your number one thing to use for getting past what ifs. Okay, research it should be something that everybody does before they come here. My whiteboard was filled up with things before I came here, things I had to do because of things that I researched and stuff like that. And I researched for 4 years or longer, and that whiteboard was filled up with things that I had to do or check on or whatever. I was constantly trying to check off anything I could check off on that board. Some of them were last minute details that I had to do before I jumped on the plane. I had everything written down up there, So don't let what ifs bog you down, guys. Do your research, do your studying, watch my videos. My videos have a lot of information on there because I went through that stuff. And they're there to help you guys, and make sure you have everything ready before you come here. You know, don't make it a rush, a mad rush to come here. Some of you guys are making a mad rush to come over here. You need to slow down, calm down a little bit. I know everybody wants to come over here and start their new life. Make sure all your ducks in a row. Make sure all your ducks are in a row and you're ready to come here and you're safe. I hate to see people jump on a plane, come over here, and then they email me, Steve, what do I do about this here? Well, you should have took care of that before you came here. You know? So those are items that you guys need to take care of. You need to make sure you go through my videos and watch everything. You'll be pretty safe if you follow my videos. I mean, everybody's a little bit different. You might have some things that I don't know about or something like that, or maybe, you know, everybody's different, you know, obviously. So your plans might be different than my plans. Okay, but at least mine will give you a basic idea of how to come here and how to be ready, guys. God bless, guys. Take care. I hope that helped, guys.